Hello friends, my name is Dr. Kesarkar and I will be your host throughout this video on Ayurveda Avtaran, which discusses how Ayurveda, considered as the medical knowledge of heaven, descended to earth. Ayurveda Avtaran, or the procurement of the knowledge of Ayurveda, has been described with interesting tales. There are two important legions which are mainly discussed. The first one follows the Daivya Parampara from the Atraya Sampradaya or the school of physicians, and the second one which follows the Dhanvantri Sampradaya or the school of surgeons. We will look at both these explanations in brief. According to the Daivya Parampara, Ayurveda descended to earth from Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma snatched knowledge of the Vedas from all directions and compiled his own Brahma Sutras. The Brahma Sutras were passed on to Daksha Prajapati in 100,000 verses. Daksha Prajapati is known as the king of Himalayas and the father of goddess Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva. Daksha Prajapati passed on the knowledge of Ayurveda to the twin brothers Ashwini Kumar. The Ashwinis were physicians at the court of Lord Indra, and they are reported to have performed miraculous medicinal feats. Lord Indra got so impressed by the Ashwinis' knowledge that he requested them to teach him Ayurveda, and thus Lord Indra inherited Ayurveda from the Ashwinis. During this period, due to the sedentary lifestyle of people on earth, the pious practices of worship and yagyas had diminished, and people were falling sick. Seeing the plight of the humans, all the great sages decided to meet at the foothills of Himalayas to obtain a solution. It was decided that a group of sages headed by Sage Bharadwaj would approach Lord Indra and request him to pass on the knowledge of Ayurveda for the benefit of mankind. This could be termed as the most important period as Ayurveda descended from heaven to earth for the first time. Sage Bharadwaja then passed on the knowledge of Ayurveda to his disciple Punarvasu Atre. Punarvasu Atre had 6 disciples named Agnivesh, Bhel, Jatukaran, Parashar, Harith and Sharpani, who all received the knowledge of Ayurveda from their guru Atreya. Each of these disciples created their own treatise. However, out of them, Agnivesh was considered to be most brilliant, and his treatise called the Agnivesh Tantra gained much popularity, while the other treatises got lost with time. The Agnivesh Samhita, which was in verse or sutra form, was then expanded upon by Charak with his annotations or bhashya in such a spectacular way that it popularly became known as Charak Samhita. This is how Ayurveda descended to earth according to the Atraya Sampradaya. We now look at Ayurveda Avtaran according to Dhanvantri Sampradaya. As per the story, the two forces in nature, the Devas or gods and Daityas or demons, were constantly at war with each other for supremacy. The gods came to know about Amrita, or the nectar of immortality, which lay deep in the ocean. The only way to fetch it was to churn the ocean. The gods realized that their collective power was incapable of executing such a mammoth task, and hence they decided to ally with the demons and share the nectar. This process is known as Samudra Manthan or Shira Sagar Manthan. Mount Meru, along with Sheshnaga, a huge legendary snake, were used to churn the ocean. As the process started, many celestial things were procured. First came Kamadhenu, the wish-fulfilling cow, then Kalpavriksha, the sacred tree, followed by goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity. Then came Visha, or poison, which was consumed by Lord Shiva for the benefit of all. The poison got lodged in his throat, turning it blue. Thus Lord Shiva was henceforth also known as Nilakantha, where Nil means blue and Kantha means throat. Following Visha came Lord Dhanvantri, who ultimately emerged with nectar in one hand and Ayurveda in other. This is why Lord Dhanvantri is worshipped as the god of Ayurveda. I hope this video was informative and made the subject clear. Thank you for watching.